Good evening, I'm Croissant, and welcome to the nightly Real Fake News. As we enter our 13th week of quarantine, the summer season is just beginning, but it does not look so bright for Zoomers, Boomers, and all generations in between. Despite the economic problems that the pandemic has presented, some companies and stocks have seen their values rise due to people staying home more. Some of these companies are major communication conglomerates like Zoom and other lesser-known companies like Netflix and PayPal. Name recognition of Zoom has skyrocketed across the world as businesses and universities use the application to collaborate on work and school. Before the pandemic, most people thought Zoom was the 2006 superhero movie starring Tim Allen that did not even make a quarter of its budget back. Additionally, many members of Generation Z called themselves Zoomers before the effects of coronavirus were clear. Little did they know that the name would be more than a meme to make fun of boomers. Ha ha ha, Zoomers do know how to laugh at grave situations. It's almost like many of their opportunities are being taken away from them due to factors out of their control. Ha ha. Are their futures going to be anywhere near as nice as supposed to be this week, Michael? What is the weather forecast this week?
And that's right, Chris. We're going to see some beautiful weather. Throughout the week, we'll start off relatively calm and cool in the morning, followed by hot afternoons, but with clear skies. Temperatures will be around 87 degrees for the high, but no lower than 63, so it's perfect if you want to open up the pool and take a swim with your family. But once we get to next week, we have this low pressure system coming in, and that'll bring some heavy rainfall to the area.
Is it going to be raining cats and dogs?
As a matter of fact, it will, Chris. Despite the bad weather kicking off next week, the federal government has issued a bi-weekly rainfall of cats, dogs, and other fluffy animals to combat the widespread loneliness across America during these troubled times. What that means for us is that everybody around the state will be able to adopt a new member of their family, but do be warned. Many people suspect, and I'm actually hearing from my producer right now, many suspect that these fluffy friends are being sent for espionage purposes. And I mean, we have Kitty Galore on track for next Tuesday, and that could mean revenge, so I'd be a little cautious there. Chris, send it back over to you.
Well, that's some great news to hear. We have more real fake news to come. Stay with us.
Are you aware that there's going to be a referendum that will affect thousands of New Jerseyans this November? It will decide whether Brendons or Brendons will have to change their name to the opposite. I'm here to tell you why you must vote to keep Brendons in New Jersey. First, there is a female equivalent of the name Brendon. There is no equivalent for Brandon. What are we going to tell Brendas if they have to change their name after the election? Brandons also are known to do the following. They do not tip, they call timeout before being tagged, they consider Tex-Mex ethnic, refuse to use the public bathroom, and call pizza za. How could we allow these Brandons to roam around the streets when they're doing this every day? If you love New Jersey, then you will vote to keep the name Brendon. This message has been brought to you by Brendons of New Jersey.
Now returning with us is our real fake news disease tracking specialist, Dr. Antonio Farso. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well, Chris. Thank you for having me on.
Dr. Farso, some people from the TC&J community are saying that there is a link between the Canvas logo and the coronavirus. What do you have to say about that?
There very well might be a link between the two. They both start with the letter C, look to have crowns, and they've both definitely hindered the student experience.
Whether there is or is not a direct link between the two, how can people protect themselves?
Some steps I've taken to make myself immune have been to 1. Cover my face, 2. Wear sunglasses, and 3. Ranch dressing.
What was the third one, Dr. Farso? Some sort of dressing?
Yes. Third step is to lather ranch dressing over all the exposed parts of the body.
Is it really true, Dr. Farso?
Chris, would I ever lie to you? Of course my steps work. Just look at me.
That's amazing. So does it matter what brand of ranch is used?
All kinds of ranch dressing should work, but I only use Hidden Valley. It tastes the best.
Then we done it. We've defeated coronavirus.
Chris, my steps are to become immune to sunburn, not coronavirus.
Oh, for any viewers who started to lather themselves in ranch dressing, You can stop, and unless you are getting ready for nice weather this week. Ain't that right, Michael?
Oh yeah, Chris, I'm ready. Sweet ranch.
We'll be right back after this short break.
The referendum to get rid of the name Brandon is one of the most important decisions voters are going to have to make this year. The Brendons are trying to attack our character in order to sway your vote, but don't let them fool you. It is a known fact. Brendons do not pay their taxes. They have never gotten their work done on time. Brendons are always cutting the line at theme parks. Pulp Fiction is the only movie they ever talk about. And even worse, they always talked during independent reading time. With all that being said, can we continue to live in a civilized society if the Brendons are not stopped? Despite our flaws, we Brendons have always been the first ones to sit out if needed. Can Brendons say that? This message has been brought to you by the Brendons in New Jersey PAC.
The 2020 election is upon us. We are only months away from November, after all. In addition to the presidential elections, New Jersey will have a number of ballot referendums concerning things like marijuana legalization and the forced Brendon or Brandon name change. To help us see what the election is going to look like, we have brought in many political analysts to share their opinion on the topic. Thank you all for joining us. Let's get straight to business. What is this election looking like?
I'm finally going to forget how much is coming back. We just have to wait long until they'll be taking office and president young voters. When this time, we'll actually when he says, please clap.
You know what? I can't even think straight. I only need two of you. Maddie and Becca, stay. Everyone else, get out of here. Your opinion doesn't matter.
Thank you, Chris. This election cycle is absolutely unprecedented. With the pandemic and the highest unemployment rate since the Great Depression, it will be very hard to forecast this election. Polls are pointing to a Biden victory, but President Trump may win again in November. It may be too early to tell.
Let's talk about Vice President Joe Biden and his own search for a VP candidate. Many names have floated, and all of them women. Becca, who will he pick, and will they balance the ticket?
Chris, all of the pundits have been suggesting the 3 serious female candidates that ran in the primary. There are, however, problems with all of them that just don't balance out the Democratic ticket.
Who are you suggesting then, Becca?
The best woman for the job that isn't being mentioned is Flo from Progressive.
You can't be serious. Flo from Progressive is from a car and home insurance company.
That's what the pundits want you to believe. The mainstream media wants you to believe that senators like Warren, Klobuchar, and Harris are the best picks. But they just don't energize voters like Flo.
Enlighten us. Which types of voters is she going to energize for the Democratic ticket?
Flo will have no problem locking down the progressive votes without alienating them. It's Progressive's policy to show you the lowest price guaranteed, even if it's not with them. The other candidates can't and won't guarantee that.
Well, Becca, some voters are going to question her ability to lead on day one. Why doesn't that concern you?
Chris, Flo's been on TV for the past 10 years. She can handle the White House for 4.
Well said, but we are out of time. Thank you for joining us, Maddie and Becca. We hope to see you again tomorrow for another broadcast of Real Fake News. Good night, everybody.